quoted a quote saying that you cannot build a kingdom when you are fixated with attention from the village. I know there are those who took it out of context to try and mobilize a hate campaign. But I call on us as members of the National Assembly to put the nation ahead of our communities, to put the nation ahead of our parochial self-interest, Honorable Speaker. And therefore, as I condemn the actions and the words of the Governor for Nyeri, Honorable Speaker, and I will indeed be writing to him to officially inform him some of these things that have been said here in writing for his record, there, so that as he exits office, he may travel a bit around the country, just tanga a bit and engage in a bit of political tourism to understand other people around the country. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to support what the Majority Leader is saying, because personally I was there when we were doing campaigns in Bungoma with the President. And even the time the President went to Bungoma and Migori to waive those debts, I was there. So what I want to ask my brothers and sisters in this house, the Nyeri people are innocent, and I want to apologize on behalf of Nyeri people. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Rosa.
Honorable Speaker, thank you for this opportunity. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Junet did ask a very pertinent question about whether we could receive the report in good time to enable us debate. I'd like to request that could the Majority Leader give us the assurance that we will receive that in time instead of going into politics. This politics does not answer that question.
He already gave that assurance, Rosa. Maybe you are not listening. He said the report is likely, and I'll direct him to ensure it is tabled by Tuesday.
Mr. Speaker, I think it was overclouded by all these political statements, which I don't think were part of what Junet had asked. Thank you much, Honorable Speaker.
Didymus.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want also to agree with the leader of minority on what he has said. And Honorable Speaker, if you look at our constitution, anybody who engages in utterances that are against national values, that are against the national interests, anybody who makes utterances that appear to divide this country along how people voted, the tribal lines, those are grounds for impeachment, Honorable Speaker. I want to make it clear here, Honorable Speaker, that the utterances by the Governor of Nyeri on what he said is clearly true, that that man is not fit to hold office, and I want to call upon ESTC to begin the process of removing him from office, because every Kenyan requires development. Wherever you come from in this country is not a criminal offense. The tribe that you are is not a criminal offense, and the governor for Nyeri is not fit to hold public office, and the grounds for removing him should begin immediately today. They even ought to have begun yesterday, Honorable Speaker. I support.
Members, I don't want us to escalate this. I want us to... Yes, Farah Malim, I see you...
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Agitated.
I want to support the Majority Leader in his statements. Mr. Speaker, me and you have been around for the longest. And you remember how the problems in DRC started when Mobutu Sese Seko was the president. He tried to victimize a small minority who are pastoralists called Banyamulenge. Banyamulenge. And there were hardly 1 million of them in a nation of over 60 million. They took up arms because nobody would accept to be a second-class citizen in his own country. DRC has never seen peace since then. It doesn't matter how big your numbers are. If the smallest community in Kenya decides I'm having a road deal and I'm going to destroy this country, they have the capacity to do it. Let us keep our unity as a nation. We have the most beautiful country in the world. The diversity is our strength. It's not supposed to be our weakness. When a very senior government official says all politics is local, what are you talking about? And you want to be the president of this country? Who is going to allow you to be the president of this country? Because you're basically saying that I will only take care of my small village up there. Honorable Chungwa, you have done us proud, and many like you. Let us keep the unity of this country for God's sake and not listen. And the National Cohesion and Integration Commission should be doing its job. It should be doing its job very well. We went close to having a collapsed stadium, Mr. Speaker, in 2007. Me and you were in the parliament that time. 2008. We avoided that calamity and complete dissolution of the Kenya government because many people came from all over the world to come and assist us. We have to learn from the mistakes we made in the past and never try and do it again. We've seen what happened in Rwanda. They tried to eliminate completely a small minority of Tutsis who are 15%. But they came back and they're ruling that country for 30 years and they'll rule for another 50 years. Nobody gives you a guarantee because you have the numbers that you're going to take over a country. No. Let us protect our unity.
Honorable members will stop here. I want to laud the majority and minority leaders for displaying patriotic thinking, and members out there. Order. Order, Kasheri. Kasheri, take your seat. Members out there, it is not a Nyeri problem, it's an individual. And Mukami has said as much. Members out there, whether you're a governor or whoever you are, members who are displaying grandiose paranoia in the conduct of their public affairs will be called to order. They will be called to order, and this House has unlimited authority through your committees to summon any such errant characters, whoever they are, and tell them that as a House of the representatives of the people of Kenya, you will not sit and watch any reckless conduct that can bring disorder in this country. And I salute you, majority and minority leaders. Lead the House in the manner you have shown and call out anybody who is errant in their conduct. Thank you. Jared?
I thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. And whereas you have closed that debate, I would want to take a tangent from what both the majority and minority leaders have talked about, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, we have lately seen discordant voices, especially emanating from the presidency. And the presidency is composed of the president, the deputy president, the cabinet, and those others in that chain, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, whereas I would be least concerned about what happens in Kenya Kwanza, but when these matters have potential to create disunity in our country, then I will be very much concerned, Honorable Speaker. In Bungoma, where you played a very good host to the most successful Madaraka days ever in this country, I did realize, Honorable Speaker, that 40 minutes later, when the president had sat down, the deputy president showed up. And the president of the Republic of Kenya had to welcome his deputy, which is totally a break from tradition, Honorable Speaker. On Sunday, during an event of the Akorino brothers in Nakuru, the deputy president arrived 1 hour after the president had sat down. And just next to that president was his seat, which was being warmed by the Minister for Water and Irrigation, my friend Zachary Njeru. And when he showed up, he started, castigating the weather. He started castigating his means of transportation and many other things, Honorable Speaker. Yesterday, to my dismay, the Deputy President took a commercial flight to Mombasa and was hauling his own bag, getting into the aircraft, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, this House appropriates and budgets for travels of the Deputy President, Honorable Speaker. And at no given time have we ever envisaged a situation where he takes a commercial flight. But if he takes solace out of commercial flights, then it is upon and incumbent upon this House to reduce his travels by 95%, because we know what is being charged by commercial flights and the rates that are being charged by chartered flights, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, whereas this government is barely 2 years in office, we have listened to quite disdainful statements emanating from the office of the Deputy President. And I want to ask you, Honorable Speaker, that the majority leader here present to shed more light over these issues, because they touch on us as the consumers of government services, Honorable Speaker. Whereas a lot has already been spoken about regarding sugar and the loans that were offset by the government, Honorable Speaker. Just yesterday, in a cabinet meeting, 6 billion shillings owed by coffee farmers was cancelled by the cabinet, Honorable Speaker. And there is no fury about it. But when the same government cancels